A major 7th, right?
He needs some milk.
And I pan them. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to get a dream pop style guitar sound. Now for gear, I'm going to be using my Dan Electro NOS Plus, and I'm going to be using my Fender Hot Rod Deluxe. As for my recording software, I'm going to go with the old faithful handy dandy Ableton 11 standard. Now a quick heads up, I already tracked some drums and some bass just to save time. I'm just going to be focusing on the guitars. So we're going to be in the key of E major, and we're going to play off the relative minor and the third of that. Actually the 4. So if we're in E major, this would be 4, this would be 5. The 5 is always going to be like a turnaround. And we're going to mess with some different, style chordings. Some different style chords, rather. So we're going to start with the A, and it's going to be on the 7th note. A major 7th, right? And then we're going to play off that 3rd as well. So it's going to be an open A. Kind of reminds me of like a Incubus's Stellar, right?
He needs some
And we're going to
milk.
stay on that A note, but we're just going to slide down here, which is going to be a F sharp to an A. So we got, then we can go to the relative minor to that E, which is going to be a C sharp minor. And then the turnaround, which is the 5th I mentioned, is the B. And with that, we're going to play off the 6th, as well as the 3rd. And why not add a 5th? Right? So it's going to sound like this. That's the first time around. The second time around, we can go which is going to be an E6, and we're still going to do that same turnaround. And that's it. I'm gonna play off those chords. As far as like dream pop, there are no specific chords you're supposed to use. You can use just regular bar chords is fine. To me, this kind of reminds me of like Dive or like Beach Fossils, so I'm just going with it. And we're also gonna add a lead. But anyway, let's go ahead and lay this down, and then we can go ahead and figure out the lead. So now that that guitar track is laid down, I'm going to go ahead and overdub with another guitar track, but I'm going to be using the bridge pickups, so it's bright. And then it's going to sound much fuller once we EQ it and mix it down. So we're going to have like 2 guitars, right? Pan left and right, or right and left, whichever way we're looking here, so that the whole track sounds fuller. And then we're going to have the lead on top of that. But let's go ahead and track our second guitar. For the lead, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. So we're alternating between these chords. So I figure we can just go. Now as far as effects, I'm going to go ahead and take care of that in post-production. I feel like I have more control. Now if I was to be playing live, of course I'd have pedals and it'd be a whole different story. Now I'm going to try to play both at the same time, or at least like the bass notes, so you get kind of like an idea of what I'm talking about. Just to get an idea, and that's a good way to tell if the notes sound good, is try to play the bass notes along with what lead you want, and you can kind of get an idea about what works and what doesn't work. So to me this sounds like it would work. Let's just record this lead, that way you can just hear the whole enchilada. Now I know right now the guitars don't sound that great, but once I EQ them and I add some effects and I pan them, it's going to sound decent. Alright, now here we are in Ableton. As you can see, Guitar 1 and Guitar 2 both have the same effects adjustments or effect chain going on. One is the warmer rhythm, the other is the bridge. Now I'm going to introduce the lead guitar, which has about the same adjustments. The only difference is I have a chorus ensemble in the chain. But this is how it sounds when all three guitars are playing together. Now that we got those instruments laid down, I figured why not come up with the vocal melody and write some lyrics. Check it out.